The dynamic decade from 1960 to 1969 delivered some unbelievable inventions that continue to change the world to this day. The 1960s marked a major shift in the method of work, from manually performing tasks to utilizing machines. Do you know some of the mind-blowing inventions from the 1960s were kept secret from the public and only revealed decades later? But why? As per the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, a large number of patents are concealed under secrecy orders and kept away from public view. Let's dive into the realm of revealed inventions. First up, we look at the revolutionary world of meteorology, where the unpredictability of weather took a back seat. Unexpected weather can strike at any time, so being prepared can literally save lives. In the 1960s, we progressed from flying blind in stormy conditions to having a meteorological eye in the sky, all thanks to the scientist Dr. Harry Wexler. He is the one who envisioned these satellites circling the planet and taking pictures of the weather. The first weather satellite, TIROS-1, was launched in 1960. Meteorological marvel TIROS-1 wasn't just a cool space gadget. It was a game-changer. It assisted meteorologists in tracking storms and saving lives by sending sharp photos of weather patterns. TIROS-1 photos gave authorities a heads-up about the approaching Hurricane Carla in 1961, allowing them to evacuate over 500,000 people. His weather satellites became the unsung heroes of meteorology, warning us ahead of storms and standing like guardians to make the world a safer place. Now, let's explore the robotics world. The first robot was born in the 1960s, signaling the dawn of a new era in robotics. George Duval, a serial inventor, demonstrated his brilliance through many groundbreaking inventions without the confines of a college education. He was well known for his nerdy attention to minute details. While flicking through a technical publication, suddenly a light bulb flickers in his brain. Thinking about how boring, repetitive jobs were for humans, he came up with a solution. What if there was someone else to handle those jobs and improve the lives of the workers? He desired a device that could lift and grasp objects with the same flexibility of motion as a human arm. This tool needed to be nimble enough to grasp and move heavy pieces to different locations and powerful enough to handle them. He designed a computer that could be programmed for different jobs in order to control these actions. What prevented him from gaining attention for his idea despite securing a patent? It was mostly because he was an expert at technical intricacies, but found it challenging to explain his vision to others. Fortune smiled upon George when he met Joe Engelberger, an engineer with a sharp business acumen. Joe learned from their conversation that George's idea wasn't just science fiction, it was a real possibility, a robot. This was the start of a fruitful partnership. George concentrated on overcoming engineering challenges and creating a functional prototype. Joe looked at possible applications and pinpointed sectors where robots could have a major impact. Their mission was to tackle crucial tasks that people didn't want to do. The prototype, known as the Unimate, performed chores continuously and without break. Facing skepticism in the US due to negative perceptions of robots, George and Joe found success in Japan. Robots were welcomed in Japan, where the post-war economy was booming. Japanese car manufacturers widely adopted Unimates, which resulted in an acceleration in productivity and ignited the worldwide robotic revolution. The dynamic duo's groundbreaking contribution was the icing on the cake, landing them in the prestigious Robot Hall of Fame in 2003. Are you ready to shift from mere TV watching to diving headfirst into the world of active gaming? It's like turning a black and white movie into a dazzling Technicolor one. Ralph Baer, the brilliant electronic wizard, after fleeing from Nazi Germany, built a name for himself in the United States. Ralph experimented with making devices in the late 1940s and early 1950s. He had a radical idea in mind, thinking about making TV interactive instead of inactive. In the middle of 1960s, Ralph found his creative spark while working on military equipment. He was experimenting with an alignment generator, a test line drawing tool for televisions. He had no idea that this experiment would make waves in the entertainment sea and revolutionize the way we watch television. Ralph was inspired to create an entirely new type of game with the testers that used to inspect TV screens. Users could experience endless pleasure chasing dots and bouncing lines on the screen. He had his eureka moment in September 1966. He takes out his spiral-bound notepad and scribbles down ideas to create a draft. He unleashes a torrent of ideas on that first page, creating a vast array of game forms fit for video games. Before you know it, an outline sprouts like seeds in fertile soil. He found it difficult to convince his co-workers about his new idea because of the emphasis on important military technologies. Undeterred, he used a radio frequency oscillator and alignment generator to covertly build his TV game. He developed a playable prototype game box with the help of a colleague, Bill Harrison, and using transistor technology. In June 1967, they revealed their top-secret project to their bosses. What he witnessed next was unbelievable. They were hooked and addicted to the game. The two well-seasoned men, both with military experience and the expected maturity, lost themselves in their games on TV. It looks like their entire life's prestige is hanging in the balance. Bosses approved more than $2,000 for employees and $500 for parts, which allowed Ralph to continue developing the game box. Over the next 10 years, his idea revolutionized the home entertainment sector, growing into a multi-billion-dollar business. The U.S. President awarded Ralph the National Medal of Technology in 2006 in recognition of his groundbreaking video gaming inventions. Next up is the real game changer, the most thrilling moonwalk mission that's set to make history. This decade saw major modifications in how we view the universe. When we made the giant leap from gazing at the moon to actually walking on its surface, our perception of the cosmos changed. On May 25, 1961, space engineer Tom Kelly, along with millions of Americans, watched President Kennedy's speech. The speech focused on the ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon and safely bringing him back to Earth. The Soviet Union was setting numerous records and leading the space race at the time. All those achievements suggested that they were perhaps the world leaders. The United States was desperately seeking its first, which was welcome news for Tom Kelly and his superiors at the jet fighter manufacturer Grumman Aerospace. Tom's company wanted to participate in NASA's goal of a moon landing, but they needed to convince NASA that their plan was the most feasible. Should the astronauts be launched from a mothership or head straight to the moon, Tom thought a third idea would be better. Instead of orbiting Earth, a command module would circle the moon. Two astronauts would travel on a different vehicle to the moon, and one would wait in orbit. After that, they would reunite with the command module. The skeptics believed it to be far too dangerous, and they were rather concerned about the possibility of leaving someone on the moon. Tom was instrumental in persuading others that this was the only viable option. His company got the contract to construct the moon landing craft, and Tom was given the project management responsibility. He was aware that the lunar vehicle would not look like the usual jet fighters produced by his company. The new invention just had to operate in low gravity, and it needed a science fiction-inspired vehicle. How can you develop a device in a lab that would never function in the atmosphere of Earth? How would one build landing gear without knowing the kind of surface the vehicle would land on? The building of the lunar module faced difficulties with weight reduction and design modifications. The tragic Apollo 1 incident raised safety concerns, highlighting the meticulous planning needed for a successful moon mission. Thorough testing and training were conducted on Earth and in orbit for the lunar module, prior to the historic Apollo 11 lunar landing on July 16, 1969. Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin took those momentous steps. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos featuring scientific achievements.